Good morning, I'm Jesse Chase, and we're doing some episodes on how horses think. We want to talk about the psychology of a horse, what they're thinking, how their thought process is very different than humans, and how if we understand that thought process better, we can make our training simpler, smoother, and more seamless. So this is a 2-year-old filly that we're just doing some groundwork on, trying to get her prepped up to ride. We've all seen that huge rash of videos, TikToks or YouTube Reels or whatever, where people get on a horse and absolutely get buried. And they're entertaining to watch. From a horse enthusiast standpoint, they're absolutely terrible. Those horses have been put in a position to fail, and they will never be trustworthy the whole rest of their lives. Any horse that bucks somebody off that hard will never ever be trustworthy. That's always going to linger in their psyche forever. So we want to try and set our horses up for success. And this is a filly that I believe in the wrong hands she would bury somebody. She's quick, she's feely, she's tight, and I want to show some of the preparation that I do, what I'm looking for to get this horse ready to ride. We actually have to train this horse as if it has two brains. One of those brains associated with their right eye, one of those brains associated with their left eye. We have to train both sides. So we'll go over some of the common things that get people bucked off. One, I would say the biggest common factor in those videos is those horses' front feet are locked in the dirt. If this horse has no mobility out of those front feet, she's absolutely not ready to ride. And I will keep working this horse around me. Now see those front feet? She's corkscrewing that right front foot right into the dirt. And we got to get that a little bit more moving. So I'm going to take this horse around me in a circle. I'm being careful enough to stay away from the hind end where I can't get kicked. I'm also not getting out in front of this horse where I can get run over. I want her to work around me. My positioning needs to be right here by the cinch. To me, this is as close to this horse, to riding this horse as I can get. There's a lot of trainers, they use a technique called join up. And what they'll do is they'll work these horses, lunge these horses, and this horse has been lunged for a few minutes, until that horse will come to them. And they spend a lot of time here in front of the horse and teaching that horse, petting them up here, teaching that horse that they're safe with that horse's head in their lap. That's a mistake for me for two reasons. I want that horse to feel safe as close as I can possibly be to riding position. The other thing is, if I'm standing in front of that horse and that horse is looking at me with both eyes, I don't know which eye's receiving more of that information. Where if I can keep a little bend in her, keep her looking at me, right now there's no doubt I'm training the right side of this horse. The other thing I find a little bit amusing with that join up technique is people will come to me and they'll say, hey, I put a saddle on that horse. That thing was absolutely crazy. It tried to run me down. It tried to chase me out of the round pen. I had to jump over the fence to get away. Well, think about what you trained that horse. You train that horse that horse is safe as long as its forehead's in your lap. Then you put a saddle on it. That saddle scared that horse, and that horse started running for the safe spot. It's not that the horse was trying to run that person over or trying to kill him. The horse was terrified, running as hard as they could for that safe spot. So again, I just find it so much safer to teach that horse that safe spots around me. And you see that front end's locked up again. So I'm going to do it there. Now we're starting to get it to move. That motion is really important to me. Good, and then I can switch and do the other side if I want to. Another thing that we have to understand when we're thinking about how horses think is, I believe strongly, horses only ever learn when they're in motion. So when they're standing still, they're going to take that opportunity to back up the computer files, upload to the cloud. Whatever they learned, they're going to process the information that they've already learned. But they're only truly learning when they're in motion. That's why it's so important. Your horse trainer is going to yell at you if you stop near the gate or stop at the wrong time. It's because that horse trainer understands that if you stop at the wrong time in your ride, you're encouraging that horse to process the wrong information, not the most correct information. And again, we want to get those, see, good. Got those front feet moving. That's pretty good. So, number one thing that gets people bucked off is climbing on when those front feet are locked up. I'd say the number two thing that gets people bucked off is, we talked about how this horse has two brains, one associated with each eye. When you've worked one side of that horse, and you've worked them, you've been over here, you've desensitized. I try and be really, really active. There's a lot of horses will let a rider quietly sneak up onto their back, only to find out they don't really want to be up there once they're up there. So I try not to be too quiet about it. This filly, if she gets nervous, she's likely to try and create some separation between me and her. She's going to try and run or get away from me. I'm still going to stay right in that spot where I want her to be comfortable. I can rub her here, jump up and down, bang on her, do this, grab my stirrup, slap that stirrup, see her trying to move away. I'm going to stay with her, stay with her, stay with her, stay with her. And I'm going to keep working. You can see how tense she is in her back. I'm going to keep working that until I feel her there. She starts to relax. I get quieter. So another part of that horse psychology is, I can force this horse to relax. I can use commotion to punish this horse. And as she relaxes, I get quiet. The long-term benefits of that are, once this horse learns its life's better when I'm relaxed, and she learns every time she relaxes, I relax, that commotion goes away. Now I've got a partner that's riding around trying to get me to be relaxed all the time. That's the kind of partner I want. So back to the number two thing that gets people bucked off. I'm going to belly up here a minute. And again, if she moves, I'm just going to make sure I control her nose, control that left eye, let her come around me. So I'm bellied up, good. Good mobility of those front feet for a minute. Now she's starting to lock up. But what happens is, this horse can get really freaked out when she sees me out of her right eye. Because her brain's saying, hey, this guy's on my left. All of a sudden she sees me on her right, and she thinks it's another person or whatever she thinks, and that can really, really scare her. So I try and come up, let them see. Sometimes I might even just straighten them just a little bit, let her see me over there. Good, she handled that very good. So that's another thing that really can scare a horse, startle them. They might start running, they might start bucking. Oh, come up here with me again. So she's a little worried I'm out of position. Now I'm back in that good safe spot. We're going to come to the other side again. I go back and forth an awful lot because I want to make sure I'm training both sides. Again, those front feet are locked up. Let me see if I can get them moving a little bit. There we go. Good girl. I'm gonna jump around, slap again, work that stirrup a little bit, and the whole time ready to control that nose and making sure I focus that right eye on me. So I'm training that right side of her brain. The other part of controlling that nose is if this thing does want to take a kick at me, if I draw her nose into me, it moves her haunches away and I'm a lot safer there. Come up. I'm going to try and belly up again. Up. Jump up and down a little bit until she gets quiet. There we go. Good girl. There we go. Good girl. And that motion is good. I want that motion. I'd rather be her moving around knowing that she's learning than her just standing there and her not learning because she's not in motion. So another big thing that gets people bucked off is if their foot touches their butt. So I try and make sure that I really desensitize that horse to that foot. Another thing, when people get on for the first time, the first thing they want to do is get that other stirrup. Well, I'm safe right now without that stirrup. Moving a little bit, good. If I quickly go to get that stirrup and this horse feels that wiggling around on her left side, that can also scare them, send them into bucking. So I might come back here. Good. Good. Just stay nice and balanced, hip into the saddle. Maybe I'll work this stirrup over here a little bit. Try and get her moving. You see those front feet are locked up? She's not ready to ride. For sure not ready to ride. Good. Back feet are moving more than the front feet. Not a good sign. Good girl. Come over again. Good girl. Rub her up here. Make sure she sees me out that other eye. Now if I want that foot in the stirrup, I can take it. I still have control of everything here. I'm still controlling which side she looks at me at. And when I do put a true first ride on this horse, I'm going to make sure when I'm on her back and I switch that bend, that I'm going to do it somewhere safely if I can, near a wall, near a fence, where the side of the round pen, where it's there to help me. If she does get startled, it buys me that 1 or 2 extra seconds for her to just simply switch over to that other side of her brain and know that that's right. So here we have a horse that's pretty close to be ridden, but not quite. These are the steps that I look for to stay safe and prevent disaster and hopefully bring her along in a more confident manner where she's not another one of those TikTok videos and me getting lawn darted. Thank you guys very much.